I am Robin Cline, and I am delighted today to be bringing you a friend from halfway around the world in just a minute. But before we start, as always, I'd love to have you subscribe to become a Cline and Company Insider on my website that you see going across right there. Just head to the website, enter your information, and you will receive a complimentary luxury sample itinerary. And then after that, on a weekly basis, updates and pertinent information, especially with our changing world these days. So, but without further ado, I'd like to bring on Kerry Glen from, hang on here, there she is, from Karisia Walking Safaris in Kenya. And all of the people who watch my lives know that I am crazy about Kenya. Absolutely loved my time there. Loved getting to meet you and your husband, Jamie, and your two children when I was there in January this year. So I'm delighted to have you with me. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. And yeah, loved that lunch. It was great.
It was great. It was great. It's like one of the things that I think the Brits, that sort of holdover of the Brits do so well is that Sunday afternoon lunch thing.
Yeah. Yeah, a long, nice, delicious lunch. Yeah, that goes on until late. Yeah, excellent.
exactly. Yeah. So we had a great time chatting that day, and I got to hear all about what you all do and how your business came to be. And but since I have that information, but my viewers here don't, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? I know you were born in Kenya, but kind of tell us a little bit about that, how you got the business started. And I'm going to fiddle with the screen share here for a minute while you're talking to get it on the right slide. So go ahead.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm born and brought up here in Kenya. My family were both, my parents were both born here. And my husband, Jamie, his mum was also born here. We used to go on safari together when we were kids. So we've known each other for a very long time. And somehow we got together as, the family friends years ago. And we decided we'd set up our business here in Kenya, our walking safari business. And that was 15 years ago. And I love camels and I love walking. And we're fortunate enough to be able to purchase some land in Laikipia, which is just on the equator, about 80 kilometers from Mount Kenya. And we set up our business from there, and managed to slowly buy up our camels and do our walking safaris from there. The main attraction about having camels to do your walking safaris with is that they can carry all the kit. And you can walk alongside them, but they can actually carry a huge amount of equipment, very, very comfortable. But it means that you can go into areas that vehicles don't get into. It's a very peaceful way of exploring Kenya, and all our employees, all the people we work with are all local to the area. So it's a very rich experience. And the wildlife and bird life and culture is amazing in that area. And so, yeah, it's just 15 years later, we've gone from strength to strength and yeah, love it.
Well, and when we get to the end of this, we're going to show some of the accolades and awards that you've won. And then before we proceed with the pictures, I want to say quickly to anybody that's watching, please go ahead and type in your questions or comments for Kerry. I'll ask as we go along. And even if it's recorded, even if you're watching it later, please ask away. Love to have your input and inquiries. And the other thing is, I want to say too that I'm very careful about people that I work with when it comes to animals, and you all take such excellent care of your camels, and I think everybody will be able to see that from the pictures. And it's I met you through Gordy and Felicia Church, who have their safari horses, and they take excellent care of their horses, so that's of the utmost importance.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Yeah, no, as I say, without our, our whole business runs on a good team, but the whole team is really our people and the camels, and the camels are, basically hand reared and very, very friendly. You can snuggle them and you can walk under their legs and everything, and they'll carry our kit from place to place, totally trusting where we take them. So yeah, we love them. We need them, but more importantly, we love them.
Yeah, that is important. Okay, well, I am going to go off screen here, but you'll still be able to hear me. And we're going to set this up so you can tell us. So here we have some very healthy, happy camels and some of your crew. So just give us a little idea what you're heading off or heading home from here.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think the main thing to say is our safaris are multi-day walking safaris, and you're moving through the landscape, generally moving camp anything from 8 to 18 kilometers in the mornings, and the camels are moving and carrying your whole camp. So these camels here are carrying, they've got tents, we've got food boxes, and we've got a riding camel at the front. And so it's a train of camels that move the camp every day to a new location. And on a safari with 4 guests, you'll have up to 12 camels. You've got to fit the hot shower, you've got to fit all the beds and the tents, and of course the delicious food and cold gin and tonics for when you reach your next campsite.
Absolutely. And obviously they're well, so here we see they're well loved. How adorable.
Yeah. So we've actually just had about camels are amazing creatures. They'll all tend to have their babies at the same time. So this photo was taken about 2 months ago, and we have 13 new baby camels literally born within 6 weeks of each other.
Oh wow.
This is Paul, the man who's with a baby camel right now. That's Paul. He's one of our youngest guides, and he's looking like he'll probably end up being one of our top guides.
Oh, that's great. Well, he's obviously he's got somebody he's got a future with there, it looks like.
Yeah.
And so
actually, this is
go ahead.
So just go. This is Paul's father on the left, the older man on the screen, and he's an incredible tracker. He's a hunter gatherer when he grew up, and basically grew up on bees and any birds and things that he could find. And this is Gabriel, who's our top guide right now on our walking safaris. So on our walking safaris, it'll be either Gabriel, Paul, we've got a few other guides, Shilingi, who will be in the lead, and my husband and I will also guide trips. It really just depends on what people want, and we'll tailor make that to make sure that happens for them.
Great. And obviously here you've got a crew that's come and is having a nice look at some of the giraffe along the way.
Yeah, so the nice thing about walking with the camels is that you get very close to a lot of the wildlife. These are reticulated giraffe in the background, and we walk through the morning enjoying all the game that we see on the way. Laikipia in particular has a huge diversity of wildlife, the richest diversity in East Africa. And so some of the areas that we walk through have incredible wildlife. Other areas are very good for birds and culture. We try and walk every day through something new, so that even if you aren't seeing a huge amount of wildlife, you're seeing other things, different scenery every day. And yeah, I think you can see in this photo.
Sorry.
And this photo as well.
Yeah.
It's okay. You'll see that we carry rifles, firearms with us, and that is really just for security, for safety, just in case we have to, maybe fire a shot for an elephant or something like that. We've never ever had to use our firearms in a bad way. So we do take it very seriously, but it's something that you should just have, and we do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And we were talking before we started about how much the Samburu people love the children, and that's evident here.
Yeah, they're such amazing people. They love children. Jamie and I've got twins, and from literally 2 months old, they were being carried and passed around by our employees. And this is Tati on here, who's playing with Rufus, drawing with him, and he's one of our incredible trackers and has the most incredible eyesight. But yeah, loves kids.
Wow, that's
so
great. And there's Daisy. Yeah. So that's your daughter,
yeah.
their twin.
Yeah, Daisy with a camel. That camel is actually called Vanilla. So yeah, Daisy and Vanilla are together.
That's great.
Yeah.
I love it. So cute. And so now, once you're out walking, you have got these views and vistas forever. Oh, it's so beautiful. So where would this be?
This is in an area called Satiman. That tall pinnacle in the background is called Ngaisusu, which means where God blows the wind. And it's actually incredible. On the top of that pinnacle, some Vera's eagles have had their nest for many years. So we'll be walking through country like this, and then, which is very dramatic, and then into the Laikipia landscape, which is much more gentle. But every day we're going through something very different and very varied.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Another picture of Rufus and the gang there. That's great.
Yeah, Rufus and the gang, and we often will get invited to local ceremonies and traditional, maybe a wedding or any other type of ceremony. So this is some of our team celebrating. I think this was a wedding that we went to.
Okay, great. Fun. And there's you and Daisy looking at a herd of elephants.
Yes, that's us looking at elephants. Actually, in Laikipia at Tumaren, which is the conservation area that we own. 15 years ago we had very little wildlife there. Now, just through looking after it and making sure that the area is safe, all the animals are feeling very comfortable, and yeah, we see huge amounts of wildlife, and especially elephants, giraffe and zebra there now. Yeah,
great. And here we have a few youngsters. Yeah.
Yeah, all the next generation coming up.
Yeah.
So
I love it. That's great. He looks so happy. Well, the camels look happy too.
Yeah. Yeah, and here's a little girl, playing with Mtiemu when we're having sundowners on a rock. The guys so all the people who work with us are Samburu and Laikipia Maasai, who are all local to that particular area. So they know the area very well. Everywhere that we walk through, they've been and born and brought up, but also with the wildlife as well. So they're very comfortable moving around.
That makes good sense. And so this is a lovely way to start or end your day when you're on a mobile safari. Get your tea and coffee delivered to you and just enjoy that view.
Yeah, and it's a very special way to wake up, or at the end of the day, sit there and enjoy, just looking out over vast expanses and maybe looking at where you're going to travel to the next day. In fact, that hill in the background, that second pinnacle, you can see sort of in the back of the picture. We walk from where I'm sitting to that pinnacle, and that's one of our longest walks. It's about 18 kilometers in the morning, but it's absolutely beautiful. You've got big winding sand rivers, and then you end up on the Ewaso River, which is a sweeping river. Lots of elephant and amazing bird life, and people coming, down to the river to water their goats and camels and cows. It's a very colorful area.
It looks gorgeous, yeah. And so, this is Jamie, your husband, and showing us that there's lots of other things you can do. There's just endless opportunities for fun in this area.
Yeah, lots and lots to do. Boating, swimming, rock climbing, biking. And if you've got kids who want to go tracking with the guys, they can it's quite fun sometimes to track a zebra or something simple like that. That's obviously not very dangerous, but it's you can or pull a baboon spider out of a hole with a stick, and I don't know. There are endless Samburu games as well that you can play, keep the kids entertained while the parents can enjoy a siesta or a bit of time reading their book or listening to birds or something like that.
Yeah, that's great. And again, speaking of vistas, and these rock formations are just amazing.
Yeah, so this is actually up in the Karisia Hills, and we named our company Karisia Limited Karisia Walking Safaris. And so we first started doing our walks up here. These granite mountains are ancient. They're sort of basically original Earth, 800 million years old. And then it sort of drops off into this low country. So it's up where we are. It's about 8,000 feet, and very cold at night. And it drops way down to about 4,000 feet. And so this is on one of our walks. It's very dramatic scenery, and 5 or 6 days walking through this it's incredible.
Oh, I can imagine. So, and there's some more of those rock formations in the background. And then again, you have somebody in the lead there that's got the gun to help keep you safe, and just in case. And so tell us about the tree here, the shape of this tree.
So this is a sort of iconic, well, the tree on the right is a tortoise tree, an acacia tree, sort of famous tree that you'll see. When you dream of Africa, that's the tree that you look at. And those are weaver bird nests up in the top of it. And actually, if you see the tree on the sort of the middle, the left, that's like a cone, that is Acacia mellifera, another type of acacia that we get this delicious honey from. But that has been pruned like that by the giraffe. So you can see the shape of it is been shaped by the reticulated giraffe, and that's as far as they can stretch up into the tree.
Okay, and speaking of tracking, so you're talking about what good trackers they are. So what kind of tracks are we looking at here?
Here we've got some Hyena Tracks, and yeah, that's Jamie's knife, I think, next to them. So we've got a lot, especially in Laikipia, we've got a huge amount of predators. We've got the spotted and striped hyenas, aardwolf, jackals, lion, leopard, cheetah. So yeah, you probably wouldn't see all of those on a safari, but you'd certainly hear lions and hyenas and leopard, and then you see at least one or two of those different species.
And now tell us about this guy. He's spectacular.
So this is a hornbill. He's a yellow-bill hornbill, and he's the biggest of this particular type of hornbill. And they're very aggressive hunters, actually. This one, you'll see him hunting lizards and things like that, chasing them around a tree and then spearing them.
And then, of course, I mean, my favorite, I could just watch elephants all day long. So I always love to see them, and especially as a family unit like this, just see all the babies.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're playing in the river, and it's such a nice thing to camp on a river or by some water, because especially in the dry season, you can pretty much guarantee that you'll see elephants coming down to the water and drinking. In front of our main camp, we've also now got a water hole, and so we've actually just had incredible elephant sightings, and all the babies rolling in the mud, and yeah, you're right, you can watch elephants forever and ever.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to remind folks that are watching, go ahead and type your questions in, and we'll be glad to answer those. And even if you're watching the replay, go ahead and type some questions in, and we will get back to them. All right. So this is one of the funniest looking animals there is, but they're interesting. So what have we got here?
So this is a gerenuk, or a giraffe antelope. You can see its neck is very, very long, and they've got these tiny ears and these sort of very thin legs, but they're an arid country antelope, and they're famous for standing on their back legs and reaching up even higher than other things like impala or Grant's gazelle. But yeah, very crazy looking creature. That's
they are. Then another hyena here, but I'd never seen one of these before. Yeah.
Yeah, they're amazing, and actually we've got quite a few in Laikipia. It's just because they're nocturnal, you don't see them as much as you would if they were wandering around in the daytime. But very efficient hunters.
Okay. Are the striped hyenas smaller than the spotted?
Yeah, they're much smaller, but they're still very aggressive, and excellent hunters themselves. Yeah, so we've got a few rock copies, like at this one where this picture is actually, there's a couple who live around here. We see them quite often.
Wow. Yeah. All right, so now we've been through the animals, so I did want to give you the opportunity to illustrate how fabulous the food is, because I have always been just so impressed with that, how you all manage to do these wonderful, wonderful meals out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, no, I mean, I have to say, it is amazing that these cooks cook this incredible food on, out of a few saucepans and a tin box that we use as an oven. And on our safaris, everything is carried on the camel. So, when the men arrive at camp, they have to quickly unpack, get the fire going, bake the bread, make the salads and everything for lunch. So when the guests arrive, for lunch, everything's freshly prepared, all the pizzas and quiches and, lasagnas, and others have fresh bread and everything. And it's absolutely delicious. Everything on our safaris is fresh. We don't, nothing comes out of a tin. So yeah, people love the food in East Africa. And I think we're very lucky because we've got such incredible choice of delicious tropical food to buy in the stores.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, you're not, just because you're out on a walking safari doesn't mean you're without hot water and a good way to end the day with your shower.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, it's a very comfortable way of traveling, and everything's set up for you. So you've got your tent, and then you've got, this is Ntiemu bringing hot water to the basin in the morning, and then in the evening, if you want more hot water, you've got it. You've got hot water and a bucket shower, which you've plenty of water, enough to wash your hair and everything. And then behind all the tents, there's a toilet, so you've got your own private toilet. And drinking water and a mirror and dressing gowns, and so it's very comfortable. It's simple, but it's very comfortable. And again, you have to remember, everything is carried on the camels.
Yes, exactly. And then here's I think I could just lay down there and be very comfortable anytime. I'm sure I'd be very tired after a day of walking, but it looks to me like it'd be a great place for any day.
Yeah, no, it's a nice way. As I said, the bedding is very comfortable. The mattresses are very comfortable, and if you prefer to have a camp cot, a camp bed, we can also do that. But some people like to, I prefer certainly to be on the ground. It's very comfortable. You've got much more space, and lie in your tent and look at the view.
Yeah. Well, speaking of a view, I mean, gosh, so here you are, and you've got the binoculars and you've got the drinks all set up, and then the wildlife comes along and just picturesque and perfect. Yeah.
No, it's an amazing place, and this is actually at Tumaren camp, where we saw those elephants earlier. We've set up a waterhole and a salt lick, and this camp is a great place for people to start or end a safari, or if you don't want the mobile camping but you want all the walking and the experience and the camels and everything, you can do it from this base. And you can literally sit here for hours and watch all the wildlife, but at the same time you can be very, very active from here. So it works quite well.
And you've got your own living room set up there too, just as comfortable as can be.
Very comfortable. And then all the flowers are from Kenya, so lots of our friends grow roses and proteas and all these flowers for export. So we're very lucky in that respect. We get
beautiful. And then you sit down and have your fantastic meal at a well-set
Yeah.
table and beautiful surroundings.
Yeah, and actually on our walking safaris, we also have sit-down meals as well. So every, morning and evening, it's a sit-down meal. Lunch is generally a buffet, but yeah, it's always sit down.
Mm, so nice. And this is also at Tumaren, correct?
This is at Tumaren, yes. So we've got 6 huge tents, and they've all got their, bathrooms just at the back. And you look out onto that salt lick where all those giraffe and impala were. And yeah, it's just it's a very, very relaxing, very peaceful place. You can, be there and watch the world go by.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's all on solar lighting.
Okay.
So the whole camp is very eco, but so everything's on solar. And then the water, we have running water for hot showers, and this is all heated on water. We call it a kuni booster. So sometimes the water has actually quite a nice smoky smell to it, but it's very nice.
Yeah. And there's Daisy and her friend and another friend in the background. Looks like they're just, and I love to see kids like this. This is so nice because they're just, outside enjoying things and obviously just having a great time.
Yeah. No, they're very lucky.
Yeah.
And I think people love, the great thing about these safaris is there is no Wi-Fi or phone signal. So actually families, when they are on this safari, they really get proper time to connect with their kids, without being too distracted about other things.
Absolutely.
And all our walking safaris are exclusive, which I think is quite a nice thing for families, because again, they get to have family time without another having to meet or make polite conversation or, or have fun with other people. But it's quite having that exclusive trip means that we can tailor make it to each guest, but it also means the guests have special time together.
Yeah, absolutely. And so here, these are some of my favorite, these Grevy Zebras and the Reticulated Giraffe. And so tell everyone why they're special.
These animals are special to Laikipia and northern Kenya, and they're both actually on the endangered list. But in Laikipia, the numbers are growing just through conservation and tourism within private and community land. So it's very rewarding. The Grevy zebras, you can see they've got these incredible ears and very thin stripes, and they're much taller than the common zebra. And the reticulated giraffe have got very distinct markings. If you compare them to other giraffes, it sort of looks like they've been actually drawn and painted rather than, blotches. Yeah. And
then, another activity. And this is something your family is quite into.
Yeah, my husband, his cousin actually got us into rock climbing years ago. And then we sort of realized all the rock around us is very good quality granite. And so over the last few years, we've sighted some rocks. We've got all our guides trained, and we've got all these routes are bolted. So we've got extreme routes, we've got easy routes, we've got beginner. So there's something for everyone, and it's quite a nice thing to do if people don't want to go on an afternoon walk, or maybe want to spend a morning somewhere climbing. It's just something else that we offer and love, and it's quite cool rock climbing with a giraffe or an elephant below you.
Yeah. And look at that view. Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, that's one. We haven't actually bolted the roots on this particular rock, but this is going to be our next mission. So it takes a little bit of time to get the roots, actually with the proper bolting and everything. This is totally safe. It's with rock and everything, but it takes a bit more time.
And it's a family affair, obviously.
It's a family affair. It's definitely, we're all into it. The kids are actually amazing at it. But this is actually a guy who him and his wife, they rock climb in Alaska. and they do guiding up there. So this rock is called Baboon Face, and this is very extreme. But
Wow.
it's quite nice for us to be able to offer, rocks of all levels,
Yep.
different guests. Yeah.
And or you could go mountain biking. So
Yeah, or you can go mountain biking, and we'll tend to go mountain biking out on the community area, where they've got these amazing footpaths and things that are very smooth, and it's beautiful. And yeah, you can bike forever and ever. And again, that's just something fun that we people can do.
That's great. Well, and we're close to the end. One more shot of the zebras, but these are regular, or they're not regular zebras.
They're common.
Common zebras.
Yeah.
And just a beautiful view. And then I added the slide in here. So this is pretty special to have all these accolades.
Yeah, well, we're quite proud of all of these accolades slowly over the years. And yeah, it's thanks to our team, really, because without our amazing team and amazing camels, we probably wouldn't have this. And I think that's what's so special, is we are a good team. A lot of us have been together for about 20 years, so we know each other quite well. We just love what we do, walking through some of the most beautiful parts of Africa.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of Africa, so the one in the middle there is all of Africa. I mean, it's not just Kenya. You guys won for the continent. So that's an especially big deal, isn't it?
It is. Now, I have to say, when we got that award, we celebrated. I mean, it was huge to get that. But we just hopefully we'll get some more awards in years to come.
Yeah. Well, and you got one last year too, right? In Kenya last year.
Yeah, because of lockdown, we received it this year, and it's Magical Kenya Signature Experience for Kenya. So it's great that we're being supported, and that I guess the Kenyans are encouraging people to come to Africa and do slightly off the norm safaris. And just going back to that, I think our safari mixes very well with the traditional safari. So if you're on a game driving safari, which is of course incredible, it's quite fun to do that and then come and do our trip, which is a little bit more active, and then maybe go back to safari. So I think it's a good, the mixing it gives you a very rich African safari experience.
Yeah, I could not agree with that more. This last year when we came, we went to many different parts that I had not been to before, and I absolutely loved Laikipia. And and the difference, I mean, like you said, you go to the Mara and it's fantastic, but you're doing the vehicle thing and that's great, but it's really nice to see the other part of the country, the other landscapes, all the other animals that you don't see there, and just realize that it's not just about riding around in a vehicle and looking, you can really participate and feel like part of what's going on, which is special.
Yeah, no, it is. And then I think something that's very special about Kenya is the culture and all the local people, the Samburu, like in our area, particularly Samburu and Laikipia and Maasai, being able to spend time with, people who know the area very well, that's incredible.
Yeah, no, it really is, when people have been born and raised there and know all that country like the back of their hand, and they're just kind of a part of it. It's fantastic. So yeah. Well, Kerry, thank you so much for joining me today. I really, really appreciate it, especially because it's late at night there. We were talking the other day, and I was saying what a good sport you are, because if it were me, I would be long since in bed. So,
well, it's actually a holiday tomorrow, so the kids are thrilled. There's no school, so we're off on a little adventure.
Oh, good.
To Lake Baringo, which is in the Rift Valley. So we'll be down there for the weekend.
Nice. We'll enjoy. Well, that'll be great. Well, I'm going to take you off the screen here for a second while I do this closing, and then I'll absolutely fabulous job at Karisia Walking Safaris, and I'd love to help you arrange one of those, and you can get in touch with me. You see the ticker going across the bottom there. Be sure to go to the website and subscribe to become a Cline & Co. insider.
Mm-hmm.